neutral. If the government thought it had got past the Lokpal hurdle, well, it needs to think again. It's the return of Anna Hazare, and this time, the protest had an interesting new mix. If once it was all about anti-politician anger, today you actually saw politicians, or at least one section of the political establishment, engage with Team Anna and the public at large on what the components of an ideal Lokpal bill should be. The Congress stayed away, saying it was not Jantar Mantar in the capital, but Parliament that should be the venue for such debate, asking the opposition why they did not participate in such debates inside the House. So where do we stand as we wind down towards the end of the winter session? Not too many days left. The Prime Minister's called an all-party meeting. The Standing Committee on the Lokpal Bill, that's the parliamentary panel, has seen as many as 17 members. Do you believe that the day went in the manner that Anna Hazare's team and people like yourselves would have hoped? Because while we saw many different members of parliament speak and broadly endorse a number of the issues that all of you have been raising, they were a little hesitant to go into the specific details, saying broadly, you know where we stand, now leave it to parliament. Would you now be willing to leave it to parliament?
Yes, certainly. I think they were right when they said leave it to specifics, because the draft is now to come about. This whole thing has to now be converted into a draft legislation. So they are now waiting to see the language of the draft. And you know, every comma and every word matters. And that's
Can we yet see a broad national consensus emerging on the Lokpal bill? Before we take final comments from our panel, let's just take a few questions.
I've just got a question. Considering that there's been such a divide within the committee about this new draft, on what basis is it actually being taken into Parliament to be discussed when there's already such a divide within the Standing Committee?
Okay, that speaks to Kirti. Kirti can give you this question. No, just joking. Good question, important question. Let's take a few more questions here. Let's get a question from the lady here. Yes.
Barkha, I'm wondering why we are discussing zero-pay corruption and all. So what concrete steps Congress has taken so far to tackle this issue?
Okay, this has come up again and again today, that a sense of the House resolution was in fact not honoured, and that is an important point. You may not agree with what they say, but if you say you're going to do it, then shouldn't you honour it? Question here.
I want to ask the non-ruling parties a question. When Anna came up first, the opinions of the non-ruling parties were not very audacious. They weren't very forthcoming with their opinions, but now they are.
You're saying the opposition has climbed on to the bandwagon now?
Exactly. I want to ask the question for the neutral stance before.
All right, we'll just go to Kirti for that. One question here. Yeah.
You know, most of our politicians are quite clear when it comes to the Citizens' Charter, but when it comes